Hey, it's xLyra here with another deck profile. This time I want to talk about none other than Neo-Spacians. So, this is a new concept deck of mine. Got it from a friend of mine, the concept. I built this myself. So, let's just jump right into it. Oh, a little spoiler there. 2 Elemental Hero Neos, because obviously he's the main card of the deck, so you fuse him with any of the other Neo-Spacians to make a bunch of powerful toolbox fusions. Stratos, so you can search out these two guys. Prisma. Prisma is extremely useful as he copies the name of any Neo-Spacian or Elemental Hero, and he later becomes Miracle Fusion fodder, so he simultaneously thins out your deck, counts as a contact fusion target, and becomes Miracle Fusion fodder later. Next up, one of every Neo-Spacian, because that way the more Neo-Spacians you run, the more versatile it is, obviously, but two standouts I would say are Aqua Dolphin and Granmole. Granmole's already hella well known, so balance a monster when you attack, but Aqua Dolphin's amazing. What Aqua Dolphin does is when you discard a card, you can look at your opponent's hand and then choose a monster in it, and then if you control a monster with more attack, destroy that monster, and then give your opponent 5,000. Otherwise, if you can't destroy a monster, take 500. So that effect's nice and dandy. You can destroy a card in your opponent's hand that they can't use, but more importantly, it lets you see their hand. If you have a Mind Crush face down, or anything, at the very least, you'll know their plans, but again, Aqua Dolphin's extremely powerful. He's a big asset to the deck. So that's all 6 Neo-Spacians. Honorable mention to Dark Panther for copying BLS and banishing it. That's always a fun play, so. 2 Armageddon Knight for the sole reason of dumping Cross Porter. So this is the idea my friend gave me was, hey, you know if you Cross Porter, whenever you send to the graveyard, you get to add a free Neo-Spacian to your hand, right? I was like, yes, I know that. But it can be from anywhere, so you can send it from the deck to the graveyard, from the field to the graveyard, or hand to the graveyard. Beware it misses timing, but whenever it's sent to the graveyard as the last thing in the chain, it lets you add a free Neo-Spacian to your hand. And obviously the best way to do that, Armageddon Knight. Yeah, this one's Spanish. But Armageddon Knight, you summon it, you can immediately throw Cross Porter into your graveyard, and then follow up by adding a Neo-Spacian. You could add Aqua Dolphin to spook them out, or Granmole, so you can bounce a powerful attacker. But 2 Armageddon Knight also serves as rank 4 XYZ fodder, so that's good. 1 Gores, because most of the Neos fusions wipe your field when you're done, so if they attempt to counterattack and you have Gores in your hand, they'll think twice before attacking you. So, Gores is a good card anyhow, but he's especially good in this deck since you want to clear your field. Chaos Sorcerer, because you run Light and Dark, you run Prisma is Light, and Cross Porter and Armageddon Knight are both Dark, so easily summonable. Don't have BLS because I'm poor, but if I had him, I would definitely run him over Chaos Sorcerer. On to the spells. Spells are the main components of the deck. 2 Hero Lives. Paying half your life points to summon a Prisma may sound extremely silly, but when you factor in Elemental Hero Airneos, who gains attack equal to the difference in you and your opponent's life points if your life points are lower, that can equal 4,000 attack points. So, again, just general searching power, so Hero Lives is extremely powerful by lowering your own life points. Convert Contact is one of the favorite cards in my deck because what it does is, if you control no monsters, you can send 1 Neo-Spacian in your hand and 1 Neo-Spacian from your deck to your graveyard, shuffle your deck, draw 2 cards. So some easy ways to get some Neo-Spacians in your hand is obviously the Armageddon Knight Cross Border trick, or by simply drawing 1 of the 6. And what's great about Convert Contact is the fact that now that Miracle Contact is out, what you can simply do is say, okay, I want to activate Convert Contact, send 2 Neo-Spacians from in your hand and deck to the graveyard, then draw 2 cards. And that'll set you up for a Miracle Contact fusion when you want to say, okay, I want to dump Flare, Scarab, and Granmole. And then if you draw Miracle Contact at Neos, you could say, I want to activate Miracle Contact and summon Magma Neos. So, great card because it simultaneously thins your deck, fills your grave, and then sets up for a Miracle Contact later. Dark Hole, easy really, just because clears field. 2 E-Call so you can maximize searching for Prisma or Stratos. Reinforcement of the Army because you can add anything, so you can also add BLS, or not BLS, my bad. Armageddon Knight and any of the elemental heroes. Foolish Burial because you can, if you need Neos for a fusion, Miracle Contact, you can dump him. You could dump any Neo-Spacian you need. You can dump Cross Porter, that's a favorite of mine. So you can instantly add a Neo-Spacian in your hand. So if you open up with Foolish Burial and Convert Contact, you can activate Foolish Burial to add any Neo-Spacian to your hand, essentially. Then activate Convert Contact. Heavy Storm and 2 MST to take care of back row, but since space is limited and I run a lot of spells, I only run 2 MST. Monster Reborn. Well, does this really need an explanation? This card's broken. My favorite, Miracle Contact. This card makes this deck so viable. So Miracle Contact, what it does is you can shuffle the materials at any Neos fusion, I think except Divine Neos or Rainbow Neos, and shuffle them into the deck from anywhere, hand, field, or graveyard. And you ignore the summoning conditions, and you summon that monster. Miracle Contact's great because, as I said before, Convert Contact sets you up beautifully. And if you use Prisma's effect, you can essentially get 2 materials for a summon. The one you get with Prisma, and one that you can use later for Miracle Contact. So, Miracle Contact is the keystone of this deck. All the combos almost single-handedly revolve around this one card. 2 Miracle Fusion, because Miracle Fusion is an awesome card, so if you're running Miracle Contact in Heroes, why not just run Miracle Fusion instead for some extra beat sticks? Onto traps. I only run 5 traps just due to space. 2 Mirror Force, because if you clear your field and the Neos fusions leave the field, double Mirror Force will save you when you need it if they have a big field. So, more defense the better. Same reason for Torrential Tribute, but Torrential Tribute's faster, since you can just destroy upon summon. So, this will usually never destroy your own monsters, since all Neos fusions clear the field after a turn, so that's never a minus for you. And lastly, Solemn Judgment, because of Air Neos, and it's a free negate, so why not run it? A lot of people tell me, oh, you should run Neo-Space, man. Neo-Space is amazing. But, and Instant Neo-Space, those are really good cards, and that's true, but when you play Instant Neo-Space and Neo-Space, they usually only win more cards, because the whole point of this deck is to shit out all the Neos fusions, and then just go for game in one turn. So the tempo of this deck is really explosive. Usually, you start with having no cards in your field, activate Convert Contact, and then from there go into a bunch of Miracle Contact summons, and then Chaos Summoning for BLS or Chaos Sorcerer, and then going for game. So, let's just go over the Neos fusions. Air Neos is definitely the most powerful one in your arsenal. If you're ever going to Miracle Contact on a clear field, use Air Neos, because Air Neos just sets up ridiculous comeback plays. You activate a Hero Lives, summon another Prisma, then summon another Prisma from your hand, make Air Neos, that's already 6,500 damage to them. If you can get one more normal summon out of that from any monster, that's a one-turn kill. Star Player. Aqua Neos destroys cards in hand. Not as good as Aqua Dolphin because you can't see their hand, but still useful if you want to destroy 2 cards. You also still have to discard, so that's kind of a bummer. Dark Neos is basically kind of like a Phoenix Chain. Also, good trick with Dark Neos is if you need a beat stick that needs to stay on the field, just negate himself. If you negate Dark Neos, you won't be able to use its effect again, but he won't be able to go back to the extra deck. So, if you need another beat stick, let's say you need a 25 beater that needs to last till the next turn because they have a monster that'll come back, just say, hey, I want Dark Neos to negate himself. And that way you'll have a 25 beater that stays in the field. Flare Neos, I really don't summon Flare Neos a lot. He's not that good since his effect's pretty lackluster. But if he's there and he's the only one I can summon, he's kind of useful, so Flare Neos makes the cut, I guess. Same with Glow Neos, because, I don't know, Glow Neos isn't really that good of a card, but he's nice to have, he's nice as a beater, and his destroying ability can be useful. Grand Neos you'll use a lot because, well, just because Grand will use all the time. He's basically a Grand Mole that doesn't need to attack, so he has a powerful effect, so he can potentially attack for 2,500. I run all three of the double or triple contact fusions. Chaos Neos is really good fun if you can actually get his effects off, but ideally it's extremely hard to use his effects since you always have the risk of bouncing all your own monsters, so be careful when you use him. He's a good 3,000 beater, but that's it. Magnum Neos and Storm Neos are my two favorite cards to pull out. Magnum Neos simply because he becomes a massive beater. He already has 3,400, and he gains another 400 every card in the field, so he can get easily over 4,000 attack and just trump anything. Excalibur, dead. Anything. Rainbow Dragon, I don't know who runs that, dead. Malefic Cyber Dragon, dead. There's almost no card in the game that can stand up to Magnum Neos. Storm Neos is good because he's a living heavy storm. Watch out for Starlight Road when you use him, but if you have a chance to use him, do it because he clears the field and he also spins every card on the field. So if you're afraid that your opponent has like a Sangan or Snow Eater, just say I summon him, destroy all spells and traps. Then end phase, don't attack, just put him back in the extra deck, and then he'll spin every card in the field into the deck. So you could spin Inzektor cards, you could spin Gigamantis and Hornet. It will really screw him up. And Magma Neos also returns to hand, which is not as powerful. But if you have Gores on the field and you use Magma Neos, they won't attack you. So that's good. I run 3 traditional Elemental Hero fusions. Absolute Zero, because if you're in a pinch, you can just remove your own Aqua Dolphin and subsequently summon Zero. So he's useful. Squirtle you can summon by banishing any hero and Cross Porter or Armageddon Knight or Chaos Sorcerer. So he's good too. He's a good fast 2,500 beater plus more. And everyone's favorite, the Shining, always a 3,200 beater when you summon him except when you like banish Glow Moss, but who does that? So Shining's powerful. He's a quick 3,200, gains hand advantage. You can recycle Prisma with him. So there's really no reason not to run Shining. He's a great card. Lastly, Photon Papilloperative, because she gets over walls, and she causes cards like Gear Armor to miss timing. Very powerful, good effect, easy to summon, rank 4s. Same reason for Heroic Champion Excalibur. Summon him by using a Hero Lives, summoning a level 4 monster. Detach both materials. Use Miracle Fusion or Miracle Contact, whatever you want. 4,000 beater, hard to ignore. Almost no reason not to run him. Finally, my Astruc the Symphony Djinn, simply because he is a good defensive first turn option. If you pay half your life points to activate a Hero Lives and you really don't want to summon Excalibur to waste his 4,000 effect, just summon my Astruc the Symphony Djinn. They'll be pretty hard pressed to get rid of it, save Black Ship of Corn. Otherwise, he will stall you out. Be aware that you can't use Convert Contact while he's on the field because you can't control any monsters. Otherwise, he's a good solid choice for defense. I don't have a really definitive side deck for this deck, but as always, since you want to play defensive, side 2 Maxi, side 2 Veiler. Since this is an Infernities, I do have the leisure of running hand traps, and I do like Veiler because he's a light target for BLS, which I don't have a lot of, or Chaos Sorcerer. Maxi is effective against most decks, like Inzectors and Mermails and Dark World. Lots of stuff that Maxi can overcome, so these two are staples. Other choices, Evolvers kill a deck, so 2 Electric Virus to take control of them. Sacrifice them for Neos is fun. That's a good pick. DD Crow. 2 Chain Disappearance, because Chain Disappearance is really good. And that's it. So, that's my Neo-Spacian deck. Like, comment, subscribe if you really want to. I'll be making more deck profiles. I'm going to go to the Cosmo Blazer sneak peek this weekend. I'll probably do a discussion about the cards I get. So, until then, I'm tuning out. xLyra here. Thanks for watching. Bye.